In front of me, we have two similar yet very different Imani tech vehicles. This is the Patriot Mil-Spec, an H1 Hummer. It is a beast, not only known for its off-roading capabilities, but the fact that it has superb armor and overall protection. It is an incredibly fun vehicle to drive, and it's just a huge thing to ram other cars off the road with. And then we move over to the newest Imani tech vehicle added into the game, the Terminus. This is obviously based off of some sort of Jeep, probably a Rubicon. I love Jeeps, and I think their off-roading capabilities are unmatched when fully kitted out. In today's video, we are going to be comparing these two off-road Imani tech giants, talking about their capabilities, off-roading, and overall speed to decide which of these two vehicles is the best for you. We are going to start off very simple and talk about armor, as armor is one of the most important things when it comes to choosing your Imani tech car. Now, each vehicle has its own set of advantages and disadvantages. Let's start off with the Patriot Mil-Spec. What does it have going for it? Well, it does feature semi-bulletproof glass. This alone is really nice. It means that you can obviously survive at least a little bit of fire from rounds before you do inevitably get shot. But I should mention that certain things, like the minigun, don't give a single crap about that semi-bulletproof glass, and as we can see, cuts right through. But yes, if you're shooting at the back of the armor on the Patriot Mil-Spec, then it is going to be around 26 rifle rounds before it gets broken through. Now let's talk about the Patriot Mil-Spec's resistance to explosives. We are going to be using sticky bombs. Somebody asked me in the comments in the past why I use sticky bombs over, let's say, RPGs or homing rockets. The major reason why is, first of all, you have to be inside of your vehicle for it to survive the maximum amount of explosions. If you're actually outside of a car, for some reason, Rockstar makes them easier to blow up. It's just a weird thing, but yeah, you can test that. If you have a Duco Death, sit inside of it, throw some sticky bombs until you blow up, and then do it while you're not inside of the car, and it'll survive like double the explosions. So that's why you always want to test how many explosives your vehicle can survive while inside of it. And I use sticky bombs because it's an easy barometer, and it's the same as RPGs. So let's see exactly how many sticky bombs the Patriot Mil-Spec can survive. There is one. There is two. Oh, get out of my way. 3. Oh, we're doing wheelies. And, oh, that just went through the ground. Okay, and there is 4. So the Patriot Mil-Spec can survive 3 explosions, the 4th one blowing it up. Let's compare that to the Terminus. Now, the first thing I should talk about is that this vehicle does not feature bulletproof glass. We can see that. Any shot that you fire into this glass is going to cut right through. And that is a big disadvantage. I love the semi-bulletproof glass that vehicles like the Buffalo STX and other vehicles feature. It is very nice, and it allows you to survive just that little bit of damage from whether it's an NPC shooting at you or an unsuspecting player. But let's take a look at the explosion resistance. Here's our first sticky bomb. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3... and let's see if we can survive more than 4. No, we cannot. So, as we can see, in terms of explosion resistance, both the Mil-Spec and Terminus are exactly the same. But I will have to give the Patriot Mil-Spec an advantage in the fact that it can survive a bit more gunfire, at least in terms of the glass, before getting shot right through. While having that slight bit of extra protection is quite nice, I have to be honest, it pales in comparison to the speed advantage the Terminus has. Just off the line on this course, as we can see, the Terminus is already light years ahead, rolling around the first corner. And we're just getting around the corner now in the Mil-Spec. The Terminus has a top speed of around 120 miles per hour, where the Patriot Mil-Spec can go 96. Not only is the Mil-Spec a lot slower on top speed, but it has worse handling, worse grip, and worse acceleration. We are already making our way through Vinewood Hills in the Terminus, and we are just starting to get through Vinewood Hills in the Patriot Mil-Spec. I mean, it's literally night and day, the difference on the lap time. One thing I can say that is nice for the Patriot Mil-Spec is it weighs a lot. And as you saw, we just pushed that car out of our way. No issues whatsoever. And we are continuing on our merry way up through Vinewood Hills. Even if I hadn't crashed into that car and I had saved maybe a second and a half on the overall lap time, let's be honest, it wasn't going to give the Mil-Spec any fighting chance against the Terminus. Weirdly enough, the Terminus has some of the best handling for an off-road vehicle in the game. In fact, it finishes its lap time better than a lot of sports cars that I have tested, and pretty good sports cars at that. So the Terminus is quite incredible. Now, that doesn't mean that the Mil-Spec gets any leniency. Nah, the Mil-Spec is literally one of the slowest vehicles in the game. I mean, you could probably pick any street car unupgraded and it would do better than the Mil-Spec. So that just shows how bad this vehicle is on its overall maneuverability. We are already done with all the corners and we are on the straightaway with the Terminus. All we need to do is make our way around this last corner here, get to the biker club, and clock our time, where we are still going through corners in our Patriot Mil-Spec. I mean, it's crazy. We're in a completely different biome. All the way in the desert, we are just starting to enter the desert in the Mil-Spec. So as we can see, we have now just finished our time, 2 minutes and 29 seconds for the Canis Terminus. And now, yeah, we still got a ways to go. We got to drive all the way down this road and then roll past the final corners, and then we can clock the time. So, yeah. While the Terminus may not feature bulletproof glass, I honestly can't say it's that big of a deal for me when the Terminus is 30 seconds faster on just driving 3 to 4 miles of distance. I mean, that was literally 3 minutes and 1 second of a lap time. That is actually the worst lap time I've ever done on this course ever. Pretty dang sad. You might say, well, the Patriot Mil-Spec is an H1 Hummer. It's the best off-roading vehicle ever made. Well, that's just not the case in Grand Theft Auto Online, and it's not the case in real life. Maybe stock it's one of the craziest off-roaders, but I can tell you a fully kitted out Jeep Rubicon is going to smack anybody. Just go look at some off-roading videos out there. You're not going to see any Hummers doing rock crawling. When it comes to the Patriot Mil-Spec, the problem is it has no ground clearance. I mean, you can see this alone. I couldn't remove this. I tried to, but you cannot remove the side step. And because of that, when you are trying to climb over mountains or rocks, you bottom out so commonly. I mean, we can see here alone, if I'm going to drive over this, we can see just here how my vehicle is already bottoming out. In fact, I don't have any grip. So just like that, the Patriot Mil-Spec is bottomed out. This does not entail a great off-roader. In fact, I was so disappointed when I got my hands on this vehicle because I was expecting it to be one of the best off-road vehicles in the game, and it just has no ground clearance. That front bumper as well, you cannot remove. So the problem is you've got this front bumper which gives you awful ground clearance and almost no travel for your actual wheels to grab anything. You've got awful back ground clearance. It's really bad in that regard. You'll notice how much better the undercarriage of the Canis Terminus is. It's got nothing to really touch. And while the front does have a bull bar, it is still quite a bit higher off compared to the wheels on the front. So if we go back to that exact same spot we were just climbing in with the Mil-Spec, you can see that it's basically impossible to bottom out my vehicle. Look at this. Like, I can't bottom it out. It's impossible. So if I sit in the same spot and I do full gas, I just go right over it. So in terms of off-roading capability, not only is the Canis Terminus faster, but it has better ground clearance and is just a flat better off-roader in literally any situation you'll get it stuck in. So if you want my opinion, I don't see any reason to buy the Mil-Spec. I think the Terminus is better in every way. I mean, sure, if you have the money, and I know some of you will say, well, I got $500 million, so I don't care spending my money. Well, if you got that much money, then I don't know why you'd really care on weighing in either way. You can just buy both vehicles and be happy with each of their capabilities. But for people watching this video that are saying, maybe I won't get this or I might get that instead, then yeah. I can tell you my personal opinion is to go for the Terminus. I love the H1 Hummer in real life, but I think Rockstar did a pretty poor job bringing it into GTA. I just don't see why anybody would want the Hummer over a vehicle that can literally climb up mountains. Look at that. I mean, that is insane. Either way, as always, it's just my opinion, and you can agree or disagree in the comments, but let me know what you guys think. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.